right, everybody, we are back live. Hey. All right, basically, just so you know, this next hour is just going to be a free-for-all because George has been on before. He's got some things he wants to talk about. We pretty much asked him all the questions we had to ask him the last time, so we're going to sit back. Mikey's drinking. George is drinking. I got some Glenlivet. I'm drinking, and we're going to smoke some cigars and shoot the shit. So if you have questions, bring them up. George will be happy to answer them. But other than that, here we go.
Now this George guy makes a cigar or something, doesn't he?
He does something. I don't know what that logo is in the back.
I don't understand.
It
Free
makes a
enterprise.
nice paper, doesn't it? Are we actually on the air?
We are on the air, brother.
Okay, because I'm looking on the site here and it still says off air, but I don't know.
No, we should.
You guys see we're on the air.
Well, let me make sure. Oh wait, maybe I have to click that button. Sorry.
All right.
Vicodin and drinking.
Oh, we're not on the air. Mike messed up. Mike F. All right, Mikey, your audio's still... Yeah, he knows his audio's low. There's nothing we can do, so turn up your volume. How you like that, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know why it's low. I really don't. I mean, you guys can hear me fine, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frame frozen. That's all right. As long as you can hear a cigar lifter, don't worry about it. All right, there we go. All right, well, here we go. We're going to bring it in here. So Matt has a spot to clip and edit and do everything he needs to do. So 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Stogie 411. We are here with our second part of our 2-hour special. We have with us George Rodriguez from Rodrigo Cigars. How's it going, George?
Oh, it's going great, man. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. We appreciate it. We saw you were in the chat room there with Nish Patel. We appreciate you popping in and checking us out.
Definitely. We were hanging out over here in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. We're definitely smoking well and living rich.
Yeah.
Champions.
So Nish, you got any dirt you want to tell us on Nish? Anything?
Let's just say that the supply of scotch in this town has been a little dry. So yeah, I think he owes us a few bottles.
Well, Nish, if you're watching the second part, you owe Pittsburgh some scotch.
That's right. Especially Jim Robinson. But, and you know, Nish is a big dude, so you know, keep that lock on that liquor cabinet when he comes over. Just a little warning there. That's all. We're
gonna raid him when we go to Florida. We're all gonna get together and go to Florida.
And you know what? I did go down to Florida to visit Bern, and spent the day at the office there as well. And very, very hospitable team Rocky's got over there. Lots of fun, and that Bern Lounge is absolutely outstanding. Great place.
Sounds like it'll be a fun time when we get down there. Well, George, we got you on here. We're happy that you came back soon. And why don't you tell everybody what's new? I know you got a new site. You got a whole, we got the boutique plan. We got a whole bunch of stuff you got going on. We really have no questions. So let's just tell us what's going on with Rodrigo Cigars.
Absolutely. Well, I've just been, like I say, always smoking well and living rich, right?
Yeah.
And, actually, let's talk about that for a second, because a lot of people always ask me, like, what does that mean? Does that mean, I should go out and buy a Bentley or something like that, or whatever? But no, that's not really the case, right?
Right.
And just kind of on a philosophical thing here, I think about smoking well and living rich really means, when you're rich and you've got a lot of money, it allows you to make choices, right?
Yes.
And when you're smoking cigars, there's tons of different things that you can smoke. You've got a lot of different options. Whenever I walk into a humidor and I have all those options and I can pick anyone I want, I feel like a rich man, And so that's part of it. And then the other part of it is, when you are smoking a good cigar, you are living rich for that hour or 2 hours or whatever it is. You're relaxing, you're enjoying life, you're reflecting on things, you're having a great company, and there's a lot of things that I can't share with Donald Trump, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to fly his jet. I'm not going to drive his Bentley, but, we can both smoke Rodrigo cigars,
That's
right?
right.
So, oh, and speaking of that, about Rich Dude smoking Rodrigo cigars, I don't know if you can see who signed that.
Is that Michael Jordan?
It sure is.
Ah, man, I'm
See,
good.
Michael Jordan. The man has a very good palate. And so, but yeah, that was exciting being a big sports fan, of course, and Michael Jordan fan to actually have him smoke the cigars and then, send me the signed box back was just big highlight of actually doing this whole cigar project so far. So it's been great. But yeah, I've just been working on the business, figuring out what we want to be when we grow up, that sort of thing. But we definitely want to keep things fun, keep it light. I'm still working in the corporate world, so it's like I don't want my cigar business to end up being, another job, kind of so to speak. But it's been a real blessing to be able to do this, and and I thank you guys, and I thank everybody who's been following me on Twitter and Facebook and everything else, and has been out there smoking cigars, talking great stuff about it, and enjoying it, and just sharing in the whole experience with me, and you've met my wife Andrea.
Yep.
And so it's a big team and family effort. So.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely will attest to that. I mean, I had the lovely opportunity to meet your wife, who is a really outgoing, spoken, great lady. Who is, if you want to laugh and have some fun, she's the one you want to hang around with.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Me, I'm just another dude in the humidor.
That's it. Because she had my stomach hurting that day I left. That's all I know. But a really, really, really great lady, and like George says, and I'm one to attest to it. He's really passionate about what he does. He really cares about every cigar that he produces. And if you are not 100% happy with it, he's probably the best guy to take any kind of criticism. Just give him a call, shoot him a tweet, email him, because he'll make it right. He stands behind his product. And to me, it's one of the main reasons I really enjoy this guy's company. So definitely a great guy.
Thanks.
And you can send the money in the mail later on.
Make the check payable too.
Check.
Yes, something. We totally busted on that one with Nish. We forgot to thank Mr. George Rodriguez for helping to get rid of the ads for the Ustream.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I couldn't stand that. We just had to get rid of that. So
yes, and also I want to thank Rich from East Coast Cigars as well, because we didn't mention that, and we'll fix that in the promo for the next show. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Yeah, it was a crazy show. He's trying to do 2 shows. We never done 2 shows, so we're trying to think of everything we got to do to prepare these 2 shows, and it was just chaotic. And now we're having problems with the screens freezing. Everybody's saying it's freezing now, and we're having audio issues. So George, we got some questions I'm not going to ask you yet until we get this video fixed, because I don't know what's going on, whose end it is, but everybody's saying everything's frozen.
Well, I think,
but
hold on, I think we can solve that right now. I'm pretty sure on the server end it's going good. I think if everybody's watching, restart the feed or refresh the page, and I think your video should pick up. It might be because we took that break in the center and it just didn't start back up.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to refresh your
page.
It's
good now. Everybody's got it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, George, before we get into, I know some things you want to go over. Let's take some questions here. Tad's got a question. He says, "Hey George, any plans on future cigars with non-DR blends? And how about a Maduro with a little Brazilian and Mexican leaf?"
Oh, I definitely I like that idea. I like that a lot. So with regards to different countries of origin for the tobacco, we're definitely looking into that. But really what I want to do is I kind of want to let things happen naturally, the same way that everything came together with the first 2 lines. So You know, we're not going to rush anything to just get something else on the market or whatever. I've got a lead on a very small team in Nicaragua, and that's the lead. And we're going to be trying out some stuff with them. I won't mention their names because it doesn't matter. You won't know who these guys are anyway. But it's just you know, people that have been kind of introduced to me, you know, through the network in the Dominican, and you know, there's basically these guys are going to be doing this stuff out of their home, right? And we talk about, you know, boutique cigars and really what that means. And you know, a lot of these cigars today we still call them boutique cigars, but you know, they're made in these huge factories where millions of cigars are getting pumped out, you know, every month. To me, that's not a boutique cigar. So, you know, we're kind of even going beyond the whole boutique thing at this point, and you know, moving into something more like, you know, designer cigars. And I guess that's the only way that I can describe it. But you know, these are this is stuff where if you can imagine, you know, whatever, if Emeril Lagasse and, you know, a bunch of these other cooks got together and they did what they want to do in their own kitchen, and they didn't give a crap about, you know, certain, you know, things about, you know, what was hot in the restaurants and stuff like that right now, and they just did what they wanted to do. That's what we're working on. That's just the kind of stuff that we're doing, right? So we're going to be doing something out of Nicaragua. I should have you know, some samples being sent to me probably within the next couple weeks. We'll see how that goes. And then we've got some other stuff that, you know, Kevin Michaels and William Ventura have been working on in the Dominican. And, you know, really we just kind of, we don't even look to see, you know, what we think is going to be hot in the market or anything like that.
Right.
You know, we literally just said, okay, you know, what ingredients do we have to work with that's we can have good access to, that we can make, you know, we can get the stuff and we can make cigars at a good consistent level, you know, over a good period of time. And, you know, what sizes do we want to make them in, and, you know, what do we think will work best, you know, what sizes work best with that type of tobacco. And so, you know, we end up making stuff that, you know, like the real cigar nuts really love, right? So like, you know, we got a Corona that is, you know, is just going to be outstanding. You know, it's a little bit, again, more on the stronger side, but you know, we don't make cigars just to be strong. We make them to have the full complex flavor and all that stuff. So it's still going to be the Rodrigo in that way that you're used to, you know, by now. But, you know, we just say, hell, you know, this is some great tobacco we got to work with. Kevin, what's the best size you think this will taste in? And then William will kind of, you know, wave his magic wand and kind of do his sort of sorcery on it. And, you know, the cigars, they just sing, right? It's fantastic. So we'll be bringing out all of that stuff primarily on classicsmokes.com, okay? And I'll tell you a little bit about that project. It was really came about because I'm a very slow marketer, okay? And I'm kind of lazy when it comes to, you know, when I think about what guys like Rocky did, and he got in the car and basically went over, you know, to every shop in the country and all that stuff. That's kind of difficult for me to do. I would love to visit people like that and see everyone. And, you know, Andrea as well would love to do that. But that would be tough for me. So a lot of people ask me, how do I get the cigars? You know, are you online any place? Can you put it on whatever, CI or something like that? And, you know, I really don't want to lose control of it in that way. So we just said, okay, well, we'll do our own website, and it'll be stuff that, you know, we're selling, you know, Rodrigo cigars primarily to get it out to people who aren't at a shop, you know, where Rodrigo's carried. And, you know, the response has been fantastic. You know, and this will be kind of like our little sandbox, our little playground, so that when we are doing new stuff, coming out with new blends, we'll release it on classicsmokes.com first. We'll get some feedback, see what people think about it. So you'll probably end up seeing some, you know, bundled cigars labeled as, you know, whatever, you know, Kevin's blend or something like that, you know, number 1043 or something like that, which is probably the time at night where he was drinking and smoking at the same time and called it that. But, you know, that's what we do. We just kind of have fun with it, you know.
Right. Yep.
So, if you're into that and you like to try new stuff, which I think most of us cigar geeks do, um, just get on classicsmokes.com, sign up for the on the newsletter there, and I'll give you a heads up when we got something new coming out. But
Right. And we will, just so everybody knows, if you go to stogie411.com, we will have that link. If you either click on the sponsor link where it says Rodrigo, it'll flip back and forth between Rodrigo and classicsmokes.com. We'll have that working soon, George. And we'll also have it on Mike Stogie's as well. That'll be, you can click on either one of those and you'll get to George's site that way. But we have a question for you, George. Jersey J wants to know, can you elaborate on the Corona project?
Well, let's see what I want to say about it. We ended up making one size, or I guess one Corona blend so far. Okay, and that particular cigar, we're working with Leo Reyes, who's the grower. Okay, and Leo's got a fantastic wrapper out of the Dominican. So the interesting thing about this particular cigar is that it actually is a Dominican puro. Okay, so a lot of people like that. I think it's pretty cool whenever you can get something like that. All the different tobaccos from one country, and that wrapper that Leo has been working on is an outstanding wrapper. I mean, so that particular cigar I'm really excited to bring out, and in that particular size, the flavors and everything just really come together very nicely. So we'll probably end up doing 2 more Coronas. So the Corona project itself was, kind of came about when it was Brett Bowersox and I and some other guys were hanging out, and we were herping up in Saratoga Springs, and we were talking about the different sizes and how to us cigar geeks, like the Corona is always like the perfect size to really test out a blend. And so Brett actually came up with the idea. He said, what if we do something called the Corona Project? We'll come out with the 3 best blends that we can possibly make in that particular vitola, right? And so it kind of stuck, and Kevin's been working on the first one right now, and he's all jazzed up about it. And now we're gonna continue on and work on the other 2. But you'll have to follow us on Twitter. You'll have to get on classicsmokes.com to be able to try that cigar out when it's ready. So,
all right. Tom, boy, we're drinking here. I think they're drinking in the chat room. Tom, it's a deal. Stogie 401 will pay for your trip. You can come down to New York and hang out anytime.
Actually,
just let us know when.
He'll have to come up to New York.
Up to New York. That's right. You're all set, buddy. We got you covered here at Stogie 401.
Yeah. In January.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good. Here's a great question, George. Matt wants to know: have you seen any growth from the Rodrigo line since the last time you did our show? I know it's hard to gauge, but
no. Well, it's not hard to gauge because really people love what you're doing, and I get emails all the time still where they say they actually have been checking out Stogie 411, and I think like anything else, like when you find something that you like, you'll go back to, hey, it'd be cool to see how these guys started, right? And so they listen to that first show, and then they hit me up and say, hey, heard about you on Stogie 411, and so it's been fantastic. It's been a great help. It's been a lot of fun, and I love getting contact from people, and that's what it's all about for me, is the whole communication and relating back to the smokers and stuff. Yep. So
when the hell are you coming over my way? York, Lancaster, come on.
He's alive, folks. He's alive.
We're going to get over to Mike F's place, definitely.
You better get over there soon, George. I don't know, the way he's drinking that Zaya. You see the way he tipped that whole bottle?
Yeah, I don't have a glass. I don't have much left either. Just a tiny little bit in there. So,
look it. I told you guys it's going to be a free-for-all on this episode.
Well, I only had one of those little things. What was that I had? Member's Mark or something.
Members mark.
Very nice. I'll take a members mark Manhattan, please.
Yeah.
Already drinking. Sorry.
So what else, George? What else is going on? What's new and exciting? Where are you going to be? So if anybody who's not in the not in the local spots around here, they can find you.
Brett is actually doing an event today at the Old Firehouse Cigars in Massachusetts. And let's see, I guess what we'll do is we'll go back up to I'll be back upstate New York this week. So probably next week, and I'll be stopping into the shops up there.
Oh, there you go, Daryl.
Everything from, definitely go up to Badgers.
Yeah.
To, Havana. The other spots in Saratoga, James and Sons.
Yep.
And maybe we'll get downstate as well, stop in a few of the other shops there. I'd like to get down to Schlesinger's. There's a restaurant and cigar shop down near, I guess it's near New Paltz, New York or something like that. So I don't know if you know that one, Mike, but yeah, just kind of been busy with, just like anybody else, family, work, a lot of work. This is my busy time of the year, the fourth quarter. So, and, just really just trying to figure out what we want to do next with the cigars.
Yep.
So.
Now,
Go ahead, Mikey.
Oh, I was going to just ask, how's that going for you now? I mean, because you still have a full-time job, if I'm not mistaken. How's that going for you with expanding the Rodrigo presence, across the country and everything?
Well, the online part of it has helped a lot. Okay. And the other interesting thing is the connection to Pittsburgh and Steeler Nation has been really incredible. So, it's really awesome. The company is based in Pittsburgh, and there's a few shops here that, a lot of the fans down in this football season, they'll stop in. That's where they're going to have their cigars, right? And that's where they're going to pick up their sticks if they're going to go, whatever, tailgating for the day or whatever at the game or something like that. And so we get a lot of people in from all over the country, stop in at the Leaf and Bean down at the Strip. And when you go there, you're going to see a ton of Rodrigos, and they're also going to let you know, hey, this is Pittsburgh cigar. And so a lot of people around the country have tried it just from that connection with the Steelers. Then they go back home, and then they're talking about it in their shops, places like, California and Arizona, et cetera, whatever. And then they're shooting me different, pictures of them smoking the cigar and on the beach and all this other stuff, and making me feel really wonderful about our weather going downhill fast.
Yeah. Really fast.
yeah, exactly. So that's been really, really cool to watch. And it's been helping the brand tremendously as well. And we've got some great retailers here in Pittsburgh that have really gotten behind it. Like I mentioned, the Leaf and Bean, there's Allegheny Smoke Works, the old Allegheny shop. And these guys have really got behind Rodrigo, not only as a local cigar, but, as a great smoke, and it really is. I often, people ask me, what else do I smoke? And I really just enjoy my own cigars. Mm-hmm. And it's there's other stuff that I smoke, but I'll just go and smoke it just to compare, kind of see what other people are doing, see if there's something that, I might be missing out on. And I come back to smoke my own cigar, and I'm very, very happy and satisfied. So
smoke what you like.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how it goes.
Oh, and I have to say, as part of Steelers Nation, the fine on Troy Polamalu sucks.
It does. It's just wrong. Totally just a travesty. That will not stop him from
we have changed
doing what he does best.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We got another one for you. Rodrigo Cigars mostly in Northeast, or have they been heading into other areas?
We've always been really good in Texas. And, Brett has done a great job of bringing the cigar into New England. So, yeah, primarily the Northeast. And, really we're kind of growing out from the center. Okay, so kind of what we're looking to do next, and Mike F, you'll be happy to hear this, but we're basically taking a stretch from Toledo, Ohio, down to Virginia Beach is kind of what our next territory. We want to be able to cover that area very well, so that any quality tobacconists is going to carry the cigar in the Mid-Atlantic region. And so I started to hop around different places and, talking to different people out west and things like that. But it's just, it makes more sense to kind of grow, from the center. And then as people want to try the cigar, they're not, anywhere near one of our retailers. That's what ClassicSmokes.com is for, right? So.
Good. Well, there you go, Matt. Let's see. Jay wants to know, are you coming to the Big Smoke in NYC?
When is that?
Shit if I know. Hey, Jay, when is it, buddy? See, I told you we're free for all. We don't have all this stuff prepared. Mike, you okay there?
That's a rough one.
We'll get the answer for you in a minute. Jay will let us know, or somebody who's more prepared than we are today.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Maybe we should all go down.
Well, you know what? That's going to lead me into the next question in a minute. Actually, we'll get into it while Jay's checking that out. It's November 30th.
November 30th. What is that? It's like Thanksgiving week or something like that?
That's the week after, yeah.
Week after?
Yep.
No, we'll see. I'd like to get over there. So I'm going to hang out with Jay and the rest of the guys in the city and stuff. That would be fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking of events, George, I know we were... it's been on Twitter. Things have been floating around. I know you and I discussed it the last time I saw you at Habanas, and was Woodstick. Anything you can talk about, or anything we know?
It's just been, I'm kind of disappointed that time just kind of goes by so quickly. But yeah, we wanted to do something, and we wanted to put together something for the Northeast. I personally wanted to do it in the fall while we can still, do it outside and hang out there. But, if it ends up being in Christmas time or whatever it is, we'll find a place indoors where we can do it. But the point is that, we've all been chatting with each other. We've all been, having a great time on Twitter and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've got a big base, I guess, of smokers that kind of bust on each other all the time from, from Gary and Emilio, up to, Tad, who's all the way up in Maine.
Yeah.
And the idea is to get all of us from across Pennsylvania, probably all the way through Western New York, through, New Jersey, Maryland, and, meet up and have our own big smoke.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, hopefully, if we can't do it this year, we can get it going next year. Would be great.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we don't want to rush. We want to do it right.
Absolutely. And Tad, you're still bringing all the homebrew.
That's right, Tad.
Don't try to get out of it.
You're not off the hook.
So, oh man. So what else? What else do you? Let's see. Actually, I'll put that question out there to you, George. That we didn't discuss this the first time we had you on the show, and you're a manufacturer. I'd like to get your opinion. You saying hold on?
No. I know what question you're going to ask. Yeah, it's.
Okay. You want to ask it?
No, go ahead.
Or you okay to ask it?
I'm all right. I'm just drinking and smoking. Just go ahead.
All right, buddy. I'm just checking. Actually, George, the question's simple.
Yeah.
Cuban cigars compared to Nicaraguan, Dominican, and any other country you want to compare it to, and what do you think's going to happen when the embargo is lifted?
Okay, Cuban cigars. Frustrating, because one, my expectation is always high, right? And like, so for instance, I've got a friend is always getting them in from Hong Kong, and that's about all that he smokes ever, except for his Rodrigos. And he's talking about these, I forgot even which one it was, whatever. It's one of the usual suspects. And he's having a great time smoking this cigar. And I said, all right, just give me one of those goddamn Cuban cigars and I'll try that dog rocket out. And the one that I happened to pick up was just plugged as a motherfucker, okay? And so that's always kind of like my experience with them, is that, they're plugged or whatever, and it's frustrating, right? Now, I've had, great experiences with them. That's why I say it's like, okay, what am I going to get, this time? And like I talked to like Kevin and William about this. I said, why does that happen? And a big part of it is that it's actually tough to do to get the entubado right. Okay, when they basically put the filler together, they roll it in those little tubes first, and then they put the binder on it. Well, if the tobacco it's got to be just the right moisture level in order to do that properly, because once it goes into the mold, if it's too wet, it ends up getting plugged. If it's too dry, when you put together the little rolls, then what happens is those little rolls will break apart, right? And it kind of defeats the purpose. So.
Okay.
I didn't even know if you guys were still there or not. So
yeah, we're still here.
I'm here.
I got people are having problems. They're trying to get on to ask you a question, and they're having problem getting on. So I'm trying to answer that and listen to you at the same time.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm trying to get as many people here that want questions.
So Rich in the Keys says he smoked his first boutique blend last night and burned his fingers. I said, yes,
Atta boy. So
I don't think I've tried that boutique blend yet.
yeah, you
We'll have to
did.
change that.
No,
I didn't send you any.
no.
That's because I'm hoarding the sons of bitches.
No, I might have. Yeah, probably. But I had some of those test blends. I'm not sure if one of them was that or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the first iteration of the boutique blend.
Yeah, my personal is the G5. I just think it's all around good size, great smoke. It always, like even I'll show you right now. It's getting a little wavy, but I won't touch it up. I guarantee. I'll show you on camera. It'll touch itself up.
Yeah.
It's this is my favorite, the G5. But Mikey, I'll send you a couple.
Cool.
I just sent some to. I got to send some to Young Buck. He wants to try your smoke too, George. So I'm going to send him a couple as well
Cool.
to try.
Cool.
But what else, George? What else you want to shoot the shit about? What's going on? What's new and exciting? Oh, I got a question for you. Actually, I was going to forget it. Twitter.
Yeah.
Now, when you first came on our show, you really weren't on Twitter.
No.
We had a discussion. We all talked about it. And now, how much has Twitter really helped or hurt your blend, your name?
It's helped a lot, and really kind of what I enjoy out of it is just, I feel like I've got, 500 new friends, right?
Right.
And so that's really the effect that I get out of it.
You got that many followers?
About that probably.
You bastard. Sorry, go ahead.
All you got to do is just, mention, Stogie 411 once in a while, and
Yeah,
people just start
you'll
following.
lose followers.
Yeah. But no, it's just a lot of fun, and I love all the bantering that I see going back and forth and all that. But it's good because this business is about it's personal, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about the sticks. And it's not as much fun if you're smoking a cigar and you don't know who's behind it,
Right.
right?
Right.
Can you think of? I mean, you can't even put a face with any of the Cuban cigars,
Mhm.
right? You really can't. So that's what I like about it. It's just that instant connection that you get with people and stuff. So we'll
Do you find it
definitely see.
overwhelming at all?
No, because what I'll do is I'll just manage it at certain times of the day. You just go in, you check your mentions, you respond back to people. Say, just be polite and say good morning to everybody and
Yeah.
good afternoon and good evening and what are you smoking and
Yeah, at least
Stop-
you answer your DMs, not like somebody else with other schmucks on camera right now. He doesn't answer your DMs if you're not important to him. That's okay.
and I
That's
don't
a
get-
whole nother subject, George.
Yeah, and I don't get the whole thing with people not following back. Like if you're trying to build a personal brand or something, like I know other people and they're like, oh, but I don't want to follow too many people, that doesn't look right or something. But it's, you know how it is. Twitter's got its own little idiosyncrasies about it, and
Oh yeah.
its own little, world with its own unwritten laws and things like that. But
Yep.
yeah,
I
Yes,
stay out
it
of that
does.
crap.
yeah.
Ain't got time
What,
for it.
what I do like about it though is that it's very focused. So like on Facebook and everything, you'll get a lot of other junk and stuff. But my Twitter activity really is, it's just cigars. So whatever algorithm that they use in order to, suggest who you should be following or whatever, it works very well to stay within kind of whatever subject you're interested in.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corey
Corey's there.
got on. Corey fixed the problem. He got on. Welcome here, Corey. Glad you're here. And
Hey, Corey.
get my cigars in the mail, you bastard. You lost again. George, Corey wants to know, he said his wife's from Pittsburgh, and he's wondering, do you think the Steelers will finish this year, finish better since his Eagles suck, not stink? Suck, I put in there.
It's still going to be a tough season. We watched the game last week, and I thought we pretty much had it, and I stepped away to smoke some cigars, and really wasn't paying attention. I turned back at fourth quarter, and what was it? I mean, it was maybe like a 3-point game or something like that at one point.
Got scary,
it was just
yeah.
like, yeah, it did get scary, didn't it? And so, yeah, but every game is going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Definitely.
Let's
So
see. Rich is
we'll
in the
see.
chat room. Boy, they're all popping in, George.
Good
Cool.
deal.
What's up, Rich?
George
Says,
is throwing a big
George
crowd.
says, boy, I think the scotch is kicking in. I can't even speak. Rich said, how's the new website going?
It's going very well. It's really easy to maintain. It's a great platform, and people are really taken to it.
Yeah.
But what's really fun is that if you're not on my mailing list, you got to get on it, because I like to put out these emails, and people enjoy reading them, and they get back to me, and then we have our own little discussions about the cigars and whatnot. And so again, it's like another touch point for me and all the smokers out there. So
Yeah. Well, you got anything, Mike, you want to shoot the shit about? You're awful quiet. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm
All right, just checking.
kind of
okay.
dealing with the pain. Drink almost in my eyes. Pretty much going another sip here. But
Yeah.
We can take a commercial break, and you can run up and get more, or
I'm
stagger
out.
up and get.
I don't have any. The only thing I have is my little. How do you pronounce that? Dewars.
Doers.
Doers.
That's next. You got enough. Don't worry. You'll be fine. You won't feel nothing. You'll take the wife out ballroom dancing when you're done.
Yeah.
So you know what? I want more people to try the cigars.
Mhm.
Okay, and you guys have smoked a lot of them.
Yep.
I probably smoked, I don't know how many. I probably don't even want to add them up, but I probably had maybe about 5 out of the hundreds that I've smoked where I've said, okay, something's not right here. So it's a very consistent cigar. Then people who do try it end up, really, really enjoying the cigar. And so I wouldn't be the first cigar maker to actually put a guarantee on my cigar, okay? And really what I'm going to do here is work with my tobacconist and say, tell people, try a Rodrigo. If for some reason, any reason at all, they don't like it, George will buy your next cigar, okay? Period, okay? There's one little caveat. It's got to be equal or lesser value, okay? I'm not buying it.
Oh, there goes that Gurkha I was going to try.
or Rocky 50s. or
Goddamn
something like that.
disclaimers.
Okay. All right. One little disclaimer, or else my Vietnamese accountant would just start beating on me. So, okay. But yeah, I'm that serious about it. And the other thing that I tell my retailers is, if they don't sell for some reason, within a certain time period, if you're not reordering, within 4 months or whatever, I'll buy back the cigars. Okay. So I've never bought, anyone a cigar, and I do this now personally when I'm smoking with people in shops and stuff. I say, go ahead and try it. If you don't like it, I'll buy you another one right now, whatever you want. And so I've never had to buy anybody a cigar, and I've never had to buy back any inventory from any of my retailers. So
Nice.
That's good.
I'm putting that out there, and it also goes on classicsmokes.com, right? So if you're wondering which you should, whether or not you should try the Rodrigo, there's no risk whatsoever. If you don't
Absolutely.
like it, tell me what you smoke. I've got tons of other cigars. I've got a lot of friends with shops, and I'll send you a replacement of whatever it is your regular go-to cigar is then,
Wow.
because I believe that sooner or later, Rodrigo is going to end up being your go-to cigar. So
Nice. Well,
Nice.
I gotta commend you for that, George, because not many people. I personally, in all my years, 24 years of smoking, I haven't heard somebody say that. So I
yeah,
commend you for that. So there's no
um,
reason for anyone not to try a Rodrigo cigar, because if you don't like it, George is going to give you comparable price wise, whatever you want to that cigar. And I mean, that's a commendable.
absolutely.
And I'll I'll be the first to say it's definitely no generic cigar. This is a top notch cigar. From the first one I've smoked when I first met you to now, it's I buy them, I enjoy them, and if I didn't enjoy them, I wouldn't waste my money on them, and I
Thank
wouldn't
you.
just blow smoke up anybody's ass, because that's not me. It's a good
Right.
cigar. He stands behind his product, and I do nothing but commend you for that one.
Absolutely. Sure thing, man. I thank you very much. So, that's what we do. And, if I wasn't putting out great cigars that I couldn't stand behind, I wouldn't bother. So, um, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do something else. What we'll do on classicsmokes.com then is we'll put a coupon or something like that for Stogie 411. Uh,
Nice.
I'll tell you what, I'll just do this. I'll just say there's $10 waiting for you if you go online there. Okay. So
There you
ten
go, guys.
bucks. Put it on the create a coupon code for Stogie 411, and it'll just take $10 off. So it's like a gift certificate for you. So
There you go. Everybody in the chat room or anybody who watches this post later, $10 off. You go to classicsmokes.com, and George will give you the $10 off your purchase. So you can't beat that. But hey, George, Rich wants to know if you want to talk a little bit about the tweak in the Habano Classic blend.
so the tweak actually came from a binder change, and what we ended up doing was switching from the Dominican Olor binder to a Habano binder as well. So it basically accented the flavor a little bit, helped with the burn as well, and just kind of put another mild spice note on it. So it rounded it out a little bit better, I think. And these are just the little things that we try, and and as a small cigar maker, we're able to do these tweaks. I think the cigars as they are now are kind of just where we want them. The other challenge about making cigars as a small, designer cigar company is that we're not buying tobacco in huge quantities, right? And so, you know, there are going to be certain tweaks that we have to make.
Right.
We're not, you know, we can get the as much tobacco as we need, but sometimes it comes in and it's just a little bit different, and that's where the magic of the blending comes in, right?
Right.
The other thing is like, our wrappers, you know, we don't do anything to work the tobacco beyond the fermentation. Okay, in some factories, they'll actually take the wrappers, they'll work them a bit better to get a consistent color or whatever it is. We just don't mess with them at all, and so sometimes you'll see the shading might be a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, or whatever. It is the same wrapper, except what we do there is, like I said, when it comes in, how Mother Nature does that fermentation thing, we just leave it as is, and then we'll sort those shades, within the box, and get them, consistent within the box there. So, but as a small producer, those are some of the things that we deal with.
Yep.
And we've got, somebody like William Ventura, who, is one of three guys that ran Davidoff. These guys, him and Kevin, Kevin is down in the Dominican, 80% of the year at this point, except for the 2 months where he comes back to the States to play golf and compete in different tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
They just live, eat, breathe, sleep tobacco, right? And so I couldn't ask for a better team in the world. And these guys are they're that good. I mean, William is an incredible, incredible blender. Kevin is, one of the best, if not the best cigar designer, architect, whatever you want to call it, out there, right? He just knows what Vitola is going to work well with a particular blend, and it's a true art and an honor to work with those guys.
Now I have a question. With, like you said, you're a smaller manufacturer, boutique blend per se. How is it with you expanding? How do you have to be careful because of your production quantity that you don't overexpand, that you can't supply the stores, or?
Yeah, definitely. And so, the worst thing to do to a shop is, to introduce a cigar and, get their smokers, happy with it, and then not be able to get it back on the shelf, right? So we're very, very cognizant of that when we open up a shop. I actually will, allocate inventory to them, figuring, now that I've been doing this for about a year, I can kind of figure, okay, this is, what size shop you have. This is probably when you're going to start to reorder, especially if we end up doing an event there and stuff like that, so that we can keep them stocked, keep the shop owners happy and making money, keep the smokers happy, and keep the Rodrigos in their hands.
Now, do you have the ability to ramp up your production and keep the quality the same,
Yes,
down the road?
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's what you get with working with a guy like William, right? I mean, he's worked, he's led huge teams at Davidoff, and the thing that's great about William is that people love to work for him. They love to, to be led by him and to be taught by, someone who is such a, wonderful maestro, right? So that's what we get, Yeah.
Well, George, it looks like we're getting some questions via Twitter. Sharon Smoke asked on Twitter, he said, George, when are you going into production on the Corojo line?
The Corojo line, actually, I'm still debating what we want to do with that. Now, sharing smoke, Peter, we got together in Pittsburgh with Steven, another Twitter follower, and a few other guys there from the crew at Blow and Smoke podcasts. Kevin Mason Dog also came down, and when I get together with the guys, what I like to do is I like to pull out some stuff that I had sitting for a while. The Corojo actually was the first cigar that I made. I didn't really put it into production. It was something that was kind of, here's my first cigar that I made with William, and I put it away, and it's been sitting for over a year, and so now that's our Herf cigar, right?
Yep.
So if you want to smoke that cigar, you're going to have to get yourself over to Pittsburgh or to some other place where I might happen to be hanging out. And so I like having that. It's a great little, surprise and a great thing to share with my friends when I actually, get to see them in person. So I don't know if I'll actually ever bring that particular blend out, but if I do, it's going to end up on ClassicSmokes.com first.
Yep.
And it also ends up in little, hitchhiker packages when you buy other Rodrigo cigars.
See that, people? Well, I had that smoke. I believe you gave it to me on Habanas, right?
Yes.
That's the one. Yeah,
that's right.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really, really good smoke.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, we'll shoot him a message on their Twitter, let him know. Yeah. But there, if you guys buy some smokes, you never know what you're going to get in there. You may get something that a nice surprise, and if you get it, it's definitely going to be a nice surprise. I'll tell you that. Hey, Mikey, just so you know, your video is frozen on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so you know, Matt's got a question, George. He wants me to ask you about the tweak to the Classico due to you not being happy with the burn. We didn't cover that, I don't believe.
Yeah, actually, that was we talked about that with the
With the Habano?
the Havana.
Okay. The Scotch is kicking in. I'm trying to remember everything we talked about. So if I'm going on,
that's good.
Just
Yep.
tell me. So let's see,
All right,
George.
Corey.
Go ahead, Mike.
Corey has a question. C. Zerby in the chat channel. He goes, George, what's your take on infused sticks? Do you smoke them? If so, do you have a favorite?
I do not smoke them. I have never really liked them, and I gave them a fair shot to try and try some different ones out, and it just never really did anything for me. It's not my thing, and so not a fan of the infused sticks.
There you go, Corey. Yeah, the only one I really like is that Gurkha Grand Reserva with cognac. That's the only one I can really smoke.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yep. Got any other questions?
Let's see.
And by the way, my video I think is all right live. It's just in Skype for some reason. It decided to take a
okay. That's fine. Long as we're good there. No other questions.
Well,
what else you want to mention?
Well, I do want to do something here.
Let's do something.
I want to give away.
Oh, giveaway.
Let's do a box of boutique blends.
Okay.
And there's the G6, which is 6x60. G5 is a 5.5 by 56, and the G4 is a 6 1/4 by 54. So we'll do a box of those, and let me see what else I got here.
Oh, here we go, guys. We got a nice giveaway thanks to George.
Let's see. And I'll tell you what.
Oh, George, we do have a question, but I'm going to save it for last.
These cigars are pretty decent as well. So,
pretty decent?
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
I say so.
I want you guys to get on the mailing list, okay? Get on the email list. Go to classicsmokes.com. Get on there, and I'll get all the names that we end up getting from, I guess, from now until maybe the end of next week or something like that.
Okay.
Until Halloween. How about that?
All right.
And what we'll do is I'll give away this box here.
Okay.
And we got a Liga Privada number 9 sampler as well. Okay? But you got to get on the mailing list if you want the goodies.
Screen froze up on the giveaway they're saying. All right, listen, I'll say it again just in case anybody missed it. Go to classicsmoke.com, get on the mailing list. George will take everybody's name who got on the mailing list from now until Halloween. And you're going to win a box of the Rodrigo Boutique Blend, as well as a box of Liga Privada. That was the number 9, I believe.
Number 9.
Yep.
Right.
The box of Liga Privada number 9 from George Rodriguez.
Now you're going to do 2 separate giveaways, or is that just one giveaway?
No, it's one giveaway.
One giveaway.
One giveaway.
It's
Look at that.
A nice giveaway for somebody, and those are basically one of the other cigars that I smoke and like to keep on hand. So
Tad's like, I'm already on, brother.
All right, we'll open it up to the current members as well. So
look at that.
Yeah,
that's all right, Corey. If your screen froze, don't worry about it. You heard what you got to do, buddy. Just go over there, get on his mailing list, and whoever's going to win that, man, that's a sweet ass package. I got to say thanks to George for doing that. That's really kind of you.
absolutely. Yeah.
So
definitely.
But I'm going to ask a question, George. Now I don't.
Now wait a minute. I want to type this out
Mike.
here for people. It's classicsmokes.com.
That's right.
Or you can go via Stogie 411. Matt will have that up today on the sponsor page. If you click on that, that will take you there as well. I don't ask this question. I only ask this question, George, to one other person, and I got to feel like you're the person I can ask it to as well. I ask it to Gary at Emilio, and he kind of didn't answer it, which is okay. It's a kind of a crazy question, but Rob, aka General Griff, is not on. But Matt said you got to ask George this question. Okay, so here we go, George. You got 3 choices. Okay, Oprah, Barbara Walters, and who the hell's the other one? He never says who the other one is. Oprah, Barbara Walters,
wife.
and your girlfriend or wife. You're stranded on an island.
Okay.
You got to marry one, kill one, and have sex with one. Go.
They're all separate. I mean, I can't.
You can't. You got to pick one for each.
Pick one for each. Okay.
Oprah, Barbara Walters, and your wife. Marry, sex, kill.
Oh my God! You
Yep.
guys are just making my head spin here. Oh, you really? This is like ultimate pressure cooker question.
Yeah, you're under the wire, buddy.
Yeah,
Griff will be happy though that if you answer, you'll be the first one to answer it. Everybody else said, "I plead the fifth."
That is definitely a tough one.
All right, George. Now you can hear us. George is going to answer that question again. So go ahead, George. Take it away.
Okay. All right. So we got what? Barbara Walters,
Oprah, and your wife.
and
Kill
my
one,
wife,
marry one, sex
Andrea.
one.
Okay. So first of all, I'll just go right where most men would go, and that would be direct to the sex part of the question, and that would be my wife, Andrea. And not only is she outstanding, most beautiful woman in the world, but you know, I don't think I'd have to be married to her to have the type of relationship that we've had over 20 years. And so that's an easy one. The one about which one would I kill? Now that's a little bit more challenging because I know which one right off the bat I would like to kill, but I think she'd put up a pretty good fight. So, but the answer is Oprah. Okay, so if I had to remove her from the face of the earth for the betterment of mankind, I would take one for the team and take care of that issue. And the Mary in question, it would end up obviously being Barbara Walters, and I could see myself having nice conversations with her, probably nice, intellectually stimulating. And like I mentioned, I like being interviewed, so that probably would work out pretty well. So
there you go, folks. Now you got your answer. All right. So now we're going to get into, George wants to talk a little bit about cigars online, and we're going to let George talk about that. And then if you guys don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap this show up here. So take it away, George.
So it's an interesting I guess cultural thing around cigars, right? Because I think we all love cigar shops. I love cigar shops, love to spend time there, love the people I meet there, and it's a great thing about our lifestyle. So, but what's funny is that having a new cigar, I kind of in this weird catch-22 because I sell my cigars online through my own site, and a retailer would say, hey, I'm not going to bring your cigars in here if you're selling them online, okay? Which really makes me raise an eyebrow because, 99% of the cigars he's got in his humidor are available online. So I always wonder, what's the big deal about that? And I guess really what cigar retailers are afraid of are discounters, right? And having to compete with that. Now, here's the interesting thing about this is that I believe that a cigar shop, even though they may feel that they've got a real, weakness against, an internet cigar retailer or, discounter, that they can't compete with the price, but they compete on the experience of smoking a cigar, right? There's nothing that I'm going to get from buying a smoke online. I'm not going to get the experience. I'm not going to get the environment. I'm not going to get the camaraderie or anything like that I would get by being in a shop. So I think that retailers probably need to get a little bit more lax about that and really flex their muscles when it comes to competing against the online discounters, because it's like, look, man, you got a fucking lounge here, okay? You don't have that online, right? And that's something that the online folks will never ever be able to compete with.
Right.
So that's kind of how I view things, and I always wonder how other people view it. And I know a lot of the the cigar hobbyists out there both buy from their favorite shop, but they will buy online as well. right? So I think it's a win-win thing for everybody, and also gets you know uh, it expands the market. It expands your palate, because you can't expect your retailer to just bring in every cigar on the face of the planet just because you want to try it. So go online, try the cigar, and then tell your retailer to get it on the shelf. So that's the way I view it. And there's nothing that will ever replace the experience of walking into a shop, walking into a humidor, and being served by a real tobacconist, and hanging out with a great group of people. So that's what it's all about for me.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Well, I'll put my ass on the line again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I mean,
Nice.
Well, with like the online shops, I mean, everybody says, price, price, price. And it's true. I mean, in this economy and everything that people are going through, everybody looks for the cheapest price they can get for everything. But there is a way to stop that, and stopping that comes direct from the manufacturers. The manufacturers can tell these online stores, look, we'll give you the exact same deal as we give the shops. And that's it. Done. I mean, if the shops are allowed to give 10% discount, then that's all the online retailers can.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
I've gone on the line about it. Now, and I, here in Pennsylvania, we have the biggest number, I guess, of online shops around, the hugest shops.
Yep.
And, I like them. I like the people that work there. I've gone to them. But it's just, I hate to hear people complain, especially, when the manufacturer is saying that, oh, well, we can't sell for the same price to the online as we can the shops. And it's like, yes, you can. You just might not sell as many. And
exactly.
That's where I like, like with the boutique blend, you're focusing on the shops and your own online center. So you can regulate the price. You don't have to worry about somebody coming out and saying, okay, we're going to discount your cigars 60%.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's, I don't want that, that happen to, for someone to, if anyone's going to devalue the brand, I'll screw it up myself. Okay. I don't want somebody else to do it for me. Okay. I can handle that just fine on my own. But, I think it also comes down to, that, again, kind of going back to the smoking well and living rich thing, right? The more options that you have, the better your life is, and the better your hobby is. And I would love to see 10 more brands like Rodrigo come out in the market. I would love to see 20 more brands, the Emilios and these other guys and stuff. These are cigar fanatics, and they're doing what they love to do. And some of the retailers just say, hey, we can't keep up with all these brands and all this stuff. But I just think it's great for the market. It's great for the hobby. And, so I'll look at the wine business and how many different wines there are out there, and how many different vineyards and wineries there are. There's thousands of them, right? So we've got a ton of room in the cigar business. And I don't need to make, 2 million cigars a year, okay? I don't need to make 1 million cigars a year. If I do, 100,000, and each of those 100,000 cigars are smoked and enjoyed and well-liked by people, then I'm happy. That's what it's about, for me. So.
Good. We got a couple more questions here, George. Corey wants to know, where'd the logo come from? I know we've gone over this before.
Yeah, sure. Yep. The logo actually was, it was designed by my brother. And, the way that it ended up working out actually is, we've got the, it's more of a representation of my family and our 5 kids. And so you have the lions, which kind of, are protective, and they're, I think any good cigar brand, you got to have some sort of either lions or bears with hatchets or something like that going on. Okay, so it's a very traditional thing. And then the tobacco leaves, as you see, the tails are are leaves, and there's 3 more leaves in the center on the Corona there, and those are representative of my children, our 5 kids. And then we have the star and the shield, which are more representative of my wife, who keeps the family together, and also, the star representing, the different tobacco producing republics, out there. So that's how we look at it. I mean, my family's from Puerto Rico, so the star thing kind of fits in well with that, and with Cuba. And we just ended up with a great logo. And what we want to do with this is actually expand. We're building everything that we do around the company around this great brand. I mean, people really like it. There's a real affinity for it. And I get beat up all the time. When am I going to get my Rodrigo hat? When am I going to get my Rodrigo T-shirt and all this stuff, right? Everyone's kind of forcing me to go into the garment business as well. And so I'll get there. I'll get around to it at some point. But I'm kind of a control freak, so I like to do all this stuff myself and make sure we put out good stuff. And I've got tons of ideas and visions for this brand. So there's the aspect of, where do you take the brand? We've got a close affinity with professional golf from Kevin Michaels. It's definitely something that we'll be playing up on. So, if you ever see a Rodrigo umbrella or tour bag out there, don't be surprised. We'll have that out there as well. And probably what we'll end up doing next year is, producing some of those tour bags and giving them away at different events and stuff like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and something that you don't, normally see. You always see kind of the grungy, cigar T-shirts and all that stuff, and it's kind of those are cool and stuff. But I want to do something different, and it fits in well with the whole cigar culture and the lifestyle as well. The other thing that I want to do actually is open boutiques, and so. I think it's a novel idea for a boutique cigar company to actually, have an actual store and a boutique. And so what I want to do with those is actually put them in, different cities around the country. Some of them will have lounges. Some of them won't have lounges. And, if you're in a high traffic area like New York City, you don't need a lounge. You've got a lot of people coming in. I just want people to be able to get the cigar, try the cigar, and really step into a store and experience what Rodrigo is all about, right? So the best way for me to do that is actually to, put a boutique places where people can walk in, experience it, get a taste of the story and about the brand, and and really connect with people in that way where we can control that environment. Mm-hmm. So that's something that's is in the business plan. I'm actually actively raising money to do all of this stuff. And so, if anyone's listening or watching and, wants a great investment opportunity in a new great cigar company and, want to work with a bunch of great guys to do it with, we're we can definitely talk. We're offering some great returns on the business model that we have. So that's all very exciting. And, we're looking to do some things, differently, like what we're doing with the online shop. I mean, we just got that up and running now. Things are stable with it. It's working. People are ordering from it. That's great. But I want to take that a lot further to further the connection and the experience with the fans and the smokers out there. So that, everyone's asking me about my Corojo, right, or the Corona project, all that stuff. The velocity where I can create something where, Kevin and I are cooking something up in the kitchen and saying, hey, we really like this, and we might have maybe 50 bundles of it. We'll put it on the site, get it out there, let people try it, get their feedback on it, and then, kind of just keep running and gunning like that. And it'll be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, one of those boutique stores in Red Lion, Pennsylvania would be great.
Let me write that down. let me better yet, get Google Maps and put the pin on there.
All right. Yeah. All right, George. Well, listen, man, it was great having you come on again and getting video, and the giveaway is amazing, and we thank you so much. And for everybody who's listening or who does watch this podcast or video cast, go to George's site, and we'll have a link up there and everything. Just click the link, bring you to George's site, sign up to the emails. And someone's going to get a box of Rodrigo Boutique Blend as well as a box of Liga Privada number 9, which samplers, which is very hard to get, and they're both great smokes. So you're a lucky SOB, and that's pretty much it, George. So as always, my friend, you got an open invitation. We thank George Rodrigo Cigars for their sponsorship, as well as East Coast Cigars for their sponsorship, and that's how you get us ad-free, except for all the mishaps today. But I think we over-inundated our server today.
I will apologize for that because it was my end. My laptop just blue-screened and restarted itself. That's why it blinked off. So I apologize to George. I apologize to everybody out there. And hopefully we can get this stuff figured out, fixed.
Yeah. So, but thanks for everything, buddy. And
absolutely
enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much for coming on.
Sure.
It was a good show. It was a fun show. It was nice to sit back and have a fun show where it, not that the other shows aren't fun, but we didn't have to prepare ourselves for this show like we normally do. We got to just shoot the shit.
This is what we do when we get together anyway. So,
that's right. That's right.
This is what you see is what you get.
That's it.
And hopefully we'll get together someday soon, George.
We will, Mike. Definitely. We'll have to do that. I'm going to have to take a detour through Red Lion, PA. I'm going to get off the interstate and just say, I'm just going to say, point me in the direction of Mike's house.
Just follow the shit smell. You'll know where it is. Red Lion, baby. All right, George, we'll let you go, buddy. Thanks as always, my friend, and we'll be in touch.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today in this special 2.5-hour broadcast. We had a lot of difficulties and a lot of alcohol, and I got one hell of a little buzz going right now myself. But I want to thank everybody in it.
I don't care. You can probably hear me, I hope, but you can't see me.
That's all right. Thanks again for everybody in the chat room for joining us. We always appreciate your support, because without it, there's no sense of us taking time out of away from our family to do this show. Thanks to George Rodriguez, and thanks to Nish Patel for coming on. And thanks to our sponsors, Rodrigo Cigars and East Coast Cigars. Go over there, check those guys out. They got nice discount codes if you use Stogie 411, and they'll take good care of you. So make sure you take care of our sponsors, because they take care of us. And that's pretty much all I got. What do you got? Anything else, buddy? Oh, yeah, I do. Real quick, the next show will be a blogger show. It will be the guys from Mike Stogie's, Young Buck, and General Griff. We will post up when it's going to be, because we're not sure right now. Rob is going to be up staying with me for a couple days, so we're going to try to have him in the studio to test out some other equipment we got working. So we will keep you guys posted on the next show. But
I'm sorry, that was funny. Rob's going to be in there to test your equipment.
He's going to test my equipment, make sure it's working right. Anyways, that's all I got. What you got, Mike? Anything else?
I ain't got shit. I'm just here.
Go over to George's site. $10 off any order plus that giveaway. You're crazy if you don't go over there and order something. A, $10 off. B, if you're not happy with his smoke, he'll reimburse you, or he'll buy you another cigar. So go over there. You're crazy if you don't. And I want to thank everybody on Twitter who sent in questions. That was nice of you guys. It was nice to see the feedback on Twitter. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think he'll reimburse them. I think he'll just buy them their favorite cigar.
Right. Yeah, scratch that. He won't reimburse you. He'll buy you another cigar of the same value of his stuff. Boy, the scotch is kicking in. But that's all I got, man. That's it. I'm beat. 2.5 hours. I got to go rake leaves now. And thanks everybody. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. We'll see you all soon.
Yep. See you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye.